اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Ubay ibn Ka'ab radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, the salah of a person offered in congregation with another person is more beloved to Allah Jalla Jalaluhu than his offering it alone. His salah with two people is more beloved than his salah with one person. The more number of people offering salah together, the more beloved it is to Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. Mentioned by Abu Dawud. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, a single salah offered in congregation is equal to 25 salahs. If a person offers his salah in a remote field and fulfills the bowing and prostrating postures, ruku and sajda with perfection, then that salah equals 50 salahs. Mentioned by Abu Dawud. Abu Darda radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates, I heard the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam saying, if there are 3 people in a village or remote area and salah is not offered in congregation, there shaitan completely overpowers them. We should therefore be particular in offering salah in congregation. Surely a wolf attacks a lone sheep, and the wolf for humans is shaitan. Mentioned by Abu Dawud. Aisha radiallahu anha narrates, when the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam fell ill and his pain increased, he sought permission from his other wives to be treated in my house. They permitted him to do so. When it was the time of salah, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would go for the salah to the masjid by taking support from 2 people with his feet dragging on the ground because of his weakness and inability to walk alone. Mentioned by Bukhari. Fadala ibn Ubayd radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that when the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to lead the people in salah, some of them would fall down from their standing position because of intense hunger. These people were the people of As-Sufha. When outsiders used to see them fallen like this, they would say, these people seem to be mad or insane. When the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would complete his salah, he would turn towards them and say, if you only knew what rewards Allah Jalla Jalaluhu has in store for you, you would desire to live in more dire conditions and more poverty. Fazala radiallahu ta'ala anhu said, I was with the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam on that day. Mentioned by Tirmidhi. Usman ibn Affan radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates, I heard the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam saying, the person who offers the Isha Salah in congregation is as though he spent half the night in salah, and the person who also offers the Fajr Salah in congregation is as though he spent the entire night in salah. Mentioned by Muslim. Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if people only knew the virtue of going to the masjid in the afternoon sun to offer the Zuhr Salah, they would have went running to offer it. Had they known the virtue of offering the Isha and Fajr Salahs, they would have went to the masjid even if they had to drag themselves on the ground because of some illness. Mentioned by Bukhari. Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the person who offers the Fajr Salah in congregation is under the protection of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. If any person vexes the one who has come under the protection of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, then Allah Jalla Jalaluhu shall fling him face down in the hellfire. Mentioned by Tabarani. Anas ibn Malik radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, the person who offers salah in congregation with the first takbir, Allahu Akbar, Allah is the greatest, for 40 days, 2 emancipations are recorded in his favor, emancipation from the hellfire and emancipation from hypocrisy. Mentioned by Tirmidhi. Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, my heart desires to order a few youngsters to gather some firewood which I take to those people who offer their salah in their houses without any excuse, and I then burn their houses. Mentioned by Abu Dawud. Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "He who performs a beautiful wudu, goes for the Jum'ah, listens to the sermon attentively, and remains silent, his sins from this Friday to the next are forgiven, plus another 3 days. For example, he is forgiven for a total of 10 days. The person who touches pebbles, for example, plays with them while the sermon is delivered, or plays around with anything else, then he has engaged in a futile act and thereby lost the special reward of Friday." Mentioned by Muslim. Abu Ayyub al-Ansari radiyallahu ta'ala anhu narrates, "I heard the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying, he who takes a bath on Friday, applies perfume, if he wears his best clothes, walks till he reaches the masjid, then offers whatever salah he is to offer and does not harm anyone, and remains silent till the end of the salah, then all this is an atonement for sins from this Friday till the next Friday." Mentioned by Ahmed. Salman al-Farisi radiyallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "A person who takes a bath on Friday and purifies himself as much as he can, applies oil to himself, applies perfume from his house, then leaves without separating two people who are sitting in the row for the salah, offers whatever salah is prescribed to him, and remains silent when the Imam speaks, his sins from this Friday till the next Friday are forgiven." Mentioned by Bukhari. Abu Hurairah radiyallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "On one of the Fridays, assembly of Muslims, Allah Jalla Jalaluhu made this day a day of celebration for you. You should therefore take a bath on this day and be particular in using the miswak." Mentioned by Tabarani. Abu Umama radiyallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Taking a bath on a Friday completely plucks out sins from the roots of the hair." Mentioned by Tabarani. Abu Hurairah radiyallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "When it is Friday, the angels stand at the door of the masjid, recording the names of those who come, starting with those who come first and then those who come after them. The one who comes earliest is like one who has presented a camel. The one who comes next is like one who presented a cow. The one who comes next is like one who presented a ram. The one who comes next is like one who has presented a fowl. The one who comes next is like one who has presented an egg." Then once the Imam appears, they roll up their scroll, listening attentively to the admonition. Mentioned by Bukhari. Yazid ibn Abi Maryam narrates, "Abaya ibn Rifa'a met me while I was walking for the Jummah prayer. He said to me, 'Glad tidings to you, because these footsteps of yours are for the cause of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu.' I heard Abu Ubays radiyallahu ta'ala anhu saying that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, 'He whose feet become dusty while in the cause of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, then they are prohibited to the hellfire." Mentioned by Tirmidhi. Aus ibn Aus radiyallahu ta'ala anhu narrates, "I heard the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying, 'He who takes a bath on a Friday and baths thoroughly, gets up early and goes early to the masjid, goes walking and does not ride, sits close to the Imam and listens attentively without playing around, then for every step that he took, he will receive the reward of a full year's worship at night and fasting by day." Mentioned by Abu Dawud. Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As radiyallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "He who takes a bath and baths thoroughly, comes to the masjid early, sits close to the pulpit and listens to the sermon attentively, then for every step that he took, he will receive the reward of worship at night for 1 year and keeping fast for 1 year." Mentioned by Ahmed. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq to make amal upon whatever we have listened to, and may He give us the tawfiq to send this to others, inshallah. Subhanallah bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma bihamdika, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayh.